So, a high-powered match here, our feature match on the televised table in the Accu-Stats arena. Jim White's alongside Mark Wilson, and as always, Mark, we've got one of the most desirable seats in the house. Imran Majid on the left. He's going to be up against Wang, one of China's top two players, actually number 2 on the Chinese rankings right now.
I watched Ken play the best pool I think I've ever seen 3 days in a row in Tunica, Mississippi. He fell down a little bit on the third or fourth day, but it was absolutely unbelievable. I hadn't heard of him before. This was in the ultimate 10 ball, and it was just fantastic performance on his side. And it was a super dense field of quality players, and he just dominated them.
Well, you'll notice that Imran is racking the 9 on the spot, and that has been a topic for discussion all week. I just got here yesterday, but, in talking to the players and, chatting with a few of them before I made my way down here to Chesapeake, it's been a bit different. And I think it's fair to say even in the matches that we saw yesterday, Mark, the break it's really been something the players have had to work out. But it has been noticeable that the percentages have slightly risen in terms of success from day 1 to 2 to 3. And we'll see if day 4 continues with that trend.
Majid set the break. So race to 11. We're using a 40-second shot clock. There's also a rule where 2 balls have to cross past the side pocket. Made the 1 ball in the wing. 9 ball does not count on the break in the lower 2 corner pockets, only in the back 4. Hasn't been much of an issue. It's only happened a couple times on the TV table.
Yeah, not the best position. Imran, having made the 1 in the side pocket, he's just looking at an area to push out now. 2 completely hidden. And he's got to be careful. On paper, I don't think Imran would be considered the favorite in this match. Having said that, in terms of experience on American soil, he's got a slight edge on Wang in that department.
Wang surveys the shot. He knows he has to play safe or give it back and face a potential safety. I think we're going to see a 2-cushion side rail, put the 2 ball down by the 3 and let the cue ball drift back down. Must be wary of the double kiss in there, however.
Yeah, that's the danger. That's the element of concern right now for Imran.
Yeah, it's going to be very close to a double kiss, it would appear. Loading it up with inside spin. No, he was able to stun it around. Oh, this is a tremendous shot. Could have won with that shot, by the way. A very creative 3-cushion bank with a safety, stunning the cue ball forward, and that showed good cuemanship to handle the cue ball that well.
As I said, he is China's number 2 right now, officially. And just behind Lung Yu, his countryman. But there's so many good players over there now. Junlin Chang and obviously Li Heiwen, player we're all familiar with in international play.
Yes,
look at that little effort there.
A great shot, and that's all planned. And you have to be a warrior to be able to make shots like that, meaning you're in constant combat with top-level talent. It's absolutely amazing the kicking speeds and the angles these guys use, the approaches. I have to credit Efren Reyes with pioneering some of this tactical development. Imran tried a rail first safety there.
Yeah, a little fortunate he caught the 2 thin enough where the 2 caught a rail after contact. Otherwise, that would have been a foul. But this is a chance. It's a slim opportunity. Really positioned to the 3. If he makes the 2 and gets on that 3 with a little angle to get back the opposite end of the table, this rack could be over very quickly.
Very pure ball pocketing there, and that's why he was accurate with the cue ball, because he hit the proper part of the pocket. You know, from here on in on the TV table or any of the other tables for that matter, it's going to be nothing but feature matchups. There is no weaklings here. It doesn't matter who plays. You're going to be playing a tremendous talent. Good speed there. Didn't overdo it.
Yeah, he had the angle from the 3 down here to the 5, so should be no more obstacles other than himself that he's got to contend with and settling his nerves down. It's just the opening rack, so you know that even though players have hit a few balls on this table, they're still settling in. I was very impressed with this young man when I watched him play a few weeks ago in the World Cup. He and his partner, solid. Given that China had won that event twice already and neither of the players that were on the winning side were there, it tells you how strong the game is there.
That is. It's a big country. There's a lot of great talent over there. Remember when I was working with the Women's Pro Tour, as we look on, as Pan looks to collect the first game. Shouting Pan came over here. I'd never heard of her, a little 90 pounds, and she plays Allison Fisher first match. And I'm thinking, oh, this is a tough one. She beats Fisher. And for the year, she beat Fisher 2 out of the 3 times they played, lost on the hill once. You know, nobody does that.
Well, if you didn't know what this man was capable of, you do now. A couple very good positional efforts. It was a good kick that really set the foundation for that winning rack. And Wang opens his account in the race to 11 against Imran Majid.
Yeah, well said. Can played a couple good safeties there. A nice kick, and then capitalized. Susie got a little crack of light, ran out perfectly.
I was looking at the world rankings, and I'd say about 15 of the top 20 in the WPA world rankings have all come to the U.S. Open this year. That's unprecedented from my memory.
You know, one thing that I think has an effect on that is that some of the guys can make it to the Moscone Cup based on their performance here, and I think that stimulates people to come across just about as much as the tournament does.
Mark, have a look at what he's using to break. That little tool on his cue there.
Oh, yeah.
He was using that in Portsmouth at the World Cup, and I made note of it.
And in Tunica, yeah.
And the 9 doesn't count on the break, so it'll spot back up. Either of the 2 bottom corners, as my colleague has already let you know, and that's because the players are racking their own here this year, and so they've eliminated those bottom 2 corners. But it's a successful break, and the turn continues.
I have a tricky little position play here, Jim. Roll the head. Perfect speed, but not much angle. That was
nice drag shot there. Just slow bottom to kill the speed of the cue ball. Still allows you to hit it with a bit of pace.
Yeah, players kind of like to use a little bit more full swing, but he didn't want to use much speed. Well, that's a nice shot. You know, the little tool that you were talking about, and we'll get another look at it later in the match.
We hope we do.
Yeah, that's true. It's a little bit of like a sleeve or something that prevents you from burning your hand for getting big power. He's the only player I've ever seen use this. I did see a tool like that sold many years ago. Dallas West had. I was just in a bar one time and they were playing pool, and they had a sleeve of these things on there, but it was supposed to be for all your shots, not just the break shot. It didn't work all that well, but nonetheless.
And a nice angle here. Just roll this in. He can play the 5 into the side pocket if he chooses. Or go right around it and play the 5 to the same pocket. Nice. A little bit riskier, but a sign of confidence. I always like to see a player willing to move around with the cue ball. Let that back arm go.
Yeah, I think by going further with the cue ball in the previous shot, that allowed him to have a little bigger margin of error position zone-wise, where if you get a little funny on that ball on the side, then the 6 ball's tough to get on sometimes. Nonetheless, he's carved this rack up pretty nicely.
He looks like he's on the practice table. It's always a good sign when you look like you're playing for nothing when you're playing for everything. And just like that, he races out to a 2-0 advantage over Imran Majid. He's come a long way from China, the East Coast here in America. And I think Imran Majid knows that Wang didn't come here to do some shopping.
No. He proved that a long time ago to me. He's the real deal. Yeah, he just went through a who's who in Tunica that year that I was so impressed with him. And it was names like Appleton and Fine and Van Boning and Souquet. I mean, it was just boom, 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 boom. Like, goodness gracious. Imagine some young guy that really played good to get by 1, maybe even 2, but not 4 or 5 consecutively. Now we get another look at that little tool, Jim, the blue thing. Like a little sleeve. Doesn't burn your hand when you get superpower. Cut break. Well, got a shot. Not an easy one.
Well, but he certainly seems to have the measure of the break, and that's not a very positive sign if you're an Imran Majid fan. Majid, one of the few players, he makes his home in London now. One of the few players here from the European contingent, still looking for a spot on the European side for the Moscone Cup, and obviously a good run in the U.S. Open would go a long way to secure that spot.
Very smooth and good speed. Kind of wiggled it home, didn't hit the pocket pure.
Yeah, that's why he's taking a little time just to wipe that cue down. I don't think he thought that was in.
Well, also sometimes you like to collect your nerves because it shakes you a little bit when you kind of slightly mishit one, and it shakes your confidence. So it's a good time to take a deep breath, wipe your cue down, and get ready to go on and finish up the rack with all quality swings. Right back in tempo. We are using a 40-second shot clock, but that really is not much of an issue here so far. Guys seem to both be fast players. You do get 1 extension per rack.
Well, he hasn't put a foot wrong yet. He's controlling that cue ball perfectly. Sorry, Mark. And he's really making this game look a lot easier than it is.
This would be his 2nd consecutive break and run out if he was to finish up. And that's really the only way to distinguish yourself against other great talent, is to win some games that they don't get any input in, because they're great shot makers and understand the defensive side of the game. So you have to establish some offense without having the gunfight with them every rack. Pretty nice speed here, Jim. Look at this shot.
Yeah, perfect. Just, you've got to be impressed with what you're seeing right now.
2 cushions that far, and to fall on the ball this good, it really did deserve some applause.
Yeah, from both of our spectators.
Yeah, well...
3-0. Another break and run out from Wang Can.
Yeah, he's setting a blistering pace because he played the first rack perfectly with his safeties and kicks, won the first shot, made a good shot, good run out, and then 2 consecutive break and run outs.
And as you'd expect, very little emotion, whether positive or negative, from either one of these players. There's still a long ways to go. Imran just patiently waiting for his opportunity and hoping it comes sooner rather than later. Doesn't want to be facing too big of a deficit. It's already 3-0. He lost the cue ball a little bit there.
Cue ball was hopping. Two ball did range around from the end rail and find the side pocket 3 cushions.
Yeah, and this is a promising layout as well. 1 and 3 in close proximity. Yeah, Imran won't be thrilled to see the way these balls have settled.
No, it looks like he's going to have to rely on a some kind of a faulty stroke to save him in this rack. Decision error or execution error, that's all he's got left. There's really not too much challenge to the arrangement of the balls.
Yeah, looking at the carpet around the main table, Mark, I think I can get you a good deal on some of this carpet if you want some at home.
I had some back in the 60s, Jim.
Yeah, it's busy.
Hides the wear and then he spills.
And the table.
I have to dig down, draw this back. I'd like to get to the middle of the table if he could. Good shot.
Dig into the cue ball again and swing this off 3 cushions. Bottom and right-hand side spin as he looks into the white.
Yeah, he's stroking nice. Just like Jim told you he was going to try to do. He did it perfectly. Might have to power up a little bit here. That'll play.
Now, Mark, I don't know whether you heard this, but I heard that the cloth wasn't new. It was about 3 weeks old, so slightly used that they put on the tables this year.
Yeah.
Now, well, we just got confirmation that it is brand new, but that's what Tony Drago was telling me having a coffee just prior. And that I found that surprising because normally they come here and even the way the speed this table looks right now, if it is new cloth, it's certainly playing like new cloth. And 4-0. That's 3 on the spin for Wang in terms of break and runouts. And he has, as you've already noted, Mark, set a blistering pace on this day 4. It's a loser's bracket match. So the eventual winner stays alive. The loser can pack his bags.
Yeah, and, you know, in a field like this, I don't even like to say loser's bracket. I'll just say once beaten. These guys are tremendous talents, and you think about how did they lose a match? Here's a guy playing a perfect match right off the gate. How good would the guy be that beat him? But, you know, that's the story with sport. Things fluctuate. You play a good match. Sometimes you don't play such a good match. Very effective on the break so far, and he has another shot on the 2. You know, it's remarkably difficult to make a ball and get a shot. You can go for a long period of time, and the times that you make a ball not have a shot, have to push out, you know, maybe 5-6 different times in a row or kick.
You know, he's playing so well right now. He just expects good things to happen, and when you come in with that sort of mindset, Mark, it usually does.
Yeah, positivity, a big issue here when you have something so complex and difficult as our sport. If you're looking for something negative to happen, it just seems that you can almost accidentally will it to happen.
The 4's on the right-hand cushion, then he'll have to get back up table for the 5 next.
Trying to get straight in. He hit a little bit. Well, this is going to play.
Yeah, that worked out all right. I don't think that was the intention, though. He was trying to get above the 4, but this will work nicely. And just straight follow. It looks like he's got the perfect angle to just bring that cue ball off that right-hand cushion and drop below the 9 for the 5 into the corner.
He was trying to get straight into the opposite corner and draw back to the short side position. He didn't have an angle. This actually plays easier. Makes the ball pocketing easier. Doesn't want to bump the 9.
Oh,
boy.
He tried to miss that 9. I don't know if you want to say that's unlucky or not, Mark, but certainly wasn't in the game plan playing the cue ball into the 9. He tried to get below it, and so Imran must have just perked up in his chair a little bit.
Yeah, I don't call that bad luck because he could have avoided that with either a little bit more power or a little lower hit, and he did play himself into that position. So, you know, as much credit as we give him, and that I wouldn't call that a gross error or anything, but it was that was his control. Oh, he was able to spin it in with the inside. Good shot.
Mark, a little bit of applause in the commentary box here. It certainly didn't look like he could see enough of that, but...
Well, the truth is, I love watching world-class pool, and a performance like this inspires me. You know, it makes me, that's why I come here. I love this. Oh, this guy's tough.
Yeah, it doesn't get any better than what you're seeing right now. And it wouldn't matter who would be sitting in that chair opposite Wang can. They all warm that seat the same way. Right now, Imran Majid is just in the unfriendliest position of having to sit back and watch this. And he's just got out of his chair. There you can see no surprises. There have been no misses, no hiccups from either player. And 5-0 Wang Can is in superlative form here. Don't know what he had for breakfast this morning, Mark, but I'm going to ask him.
This is what we saw in Tunica the first time I ever met this guy, and it was just as impressive then. He's playing a perfect match so far. He really, I mean, there's not one thing you can say, but he almost missed that one time on his position, didn't he? I mean, when you say you almost make it, he almost missed one time out of this whole thing.
Well, that's 4 breaking runs in a row. That's the best, to my recollection, that we've seen. And I hope I haven't put the kiss of death on him.
You did. Oh, yeah. This is cool
typical.
right here.
That would be typical. And even Wang Can has to give a bit of a sarcastic grin as he departs the table.
Well, he waved, acknowledging that, you know, that is, he even understands. He's compassionate because he's been on the other side of this before. Pretty funny how the camaraderie in our sport works, you know, and these guys are great sportsmen. You can see great attitudes. They come here, they prepare like athletes, and they know how rough it is.
You know, I was talking about the quality of the field. Only 3 players in the world rankings in the top 10 are not here. Yulong Chang from China, Carlo Beato and his countryman Levan Corteza. And I'm surprised Levan Corteza didn't make the trip over. He's played in a number of U.S. Opens. But they're the only 3 in the world's top 10 that aren't taking up the field in the 39th U.S. Open.
El Majid rolls out and pockets the ball just to kind of feel like he's in the match somehow. I don't blame him. Get a little practice in out of all this. Now, this is where these guys just shine with their ball speeds, and not just the cue ball speed, but the object ball speed. And it's so difficult because if you miss a millimeter or so, it's very, very tricky.
A little surprised, Mark, that he's brought Majid back. It isn't the most difficult safety, and he could just try and knock that one over to the right-hand cushion behind the 2 and the 5.
I'm very surprised. I would not think he would turn this loose. You would see very few players do it.
Well, now he might have to come back with his jump cue. Or can he swerve around? No, it's the short cue out of the case.
Yeah, the jump cue plays better here than the masse because it's so a long distance to go, where here you're lethally accurate as far as hitting the ball with the jump cue. You're quite a ways from the 9. I'm going to tell you, I would expect him to get the one ball a good percentage of the time, just a half or a little above. Oh, missed it by a good bit.
Now, still nothing presents itself for Imran. Now, he's been in his chair for 5 racks. He wants to be able to come out and have a real easy starting ball. And this is far from that.
I think he's looking at putting the 1 on the 5. Super soft speed.
Couldn't have played that one any better.
He takes a glance to see if Wang can just hit the edge of the 1, which he can.
Oh, that is very unlucky. He'd have been kicking at this off the bottom cushion as we look, and now, being able to see it, he's got a chance to try and put Imran in a bit of trouble.
This is the tactical side of the game that's so interesting to watch with these object ball speeds and directions they create.
He must not like it though, Mark. He's just chalked up his third time now.
No, it's very tricky. You try to thin the 1 and send the cue ball down below the 9, or you try to bank 2 cushions with 1. You have 2 cushions.
Yeah, he obviously called for his extension. I didn't hear it, but the shot clock kept going, so he definitely did. We just got confirmation of that.
I have to compliment him. That was an awkward safety to play, and he's really made the most of that. It's one of the better shots that Majid has come to the table to face. It's absolutely hideous. And we're very good speed there. This would be interesting if you could try to kick in behind the 1 and have the cue ball go over by the 6. You might not hook him, but you could also take a shot at. That's what he looked like he might be aiming up for.
So just catch the right-hand side of the 1 as we look. Let that cue ball float in behind the 6.
You will get some more applause if it goes behind the 6.
Caught the other side of it, and I think Imran Majid is going to be looking at the best chance he's had in the first 6 racks. And the 2 doesn't go by the 5 into the top corner pocket, so Imran's going to have to come with a shot here on the 1.
It's a little awkward back cut, and then if you need particular speed to play it in the same corner pocket where he's standing now with the 2 ball, that complicates the shot. Take a hard shot and make it a little bit harder. Good shot there. Good firepower. Another tester here.
Yeah, and position isn't straightforward from the 2 to the 4. And the 2's not that easy a shot to begin with. You know, he knows he needs to make something positive happen. It looks like he's just ducking here.
I like it. Yeah, I agree. Don't force something here. The last thing you want to do is complicate your score deficit. Good shot. Good shot. 2's right back where this is almost the same shot that Wang just had. It's last inning, isn't it? Good judgment there. A younger player might have tried to force something on the 2 and risk, giving up an unforced error. So Majid's still in the game. He's withstood a flurry.
He dug into the cue ball there so that he could pull that cue ball away from that right-hand corner pocket, even contacting the bottom edge of the 2.
Majid plays with triangle chalk. That's interesting. Kind of a snooker style.
That's exactly what it is. It's snooker chalk. Green snooker chalk.
Oh, good shot there. Oh. Yeah, he's playing the game. He's withstood this flurry good. He's not out of his game at all. Not trying to force something that's not there. Boy, that's a good shot.
Yeah, this is a real tough hit. He's going to try and hit this off 3 cushions, but this can go wrong in a number of different areas. It was a good effort, but that was just how tough the escape was.
Yeah.
And so much for the perfect score. he's 5-0 ahead, and Majid's got a better rating than Wang Can does.
Yeah.
Yeah, you won't see that very often, a 5-rack deficit, and one man's batting 1,000. He's yet to bother the scorekeeper.
Yeah.
Plays at the same club as Tony Drago in London.
I'll bet that's a fun club to be around if Tony's around.
I guarantee you. There's a number of players. I think when Raj Hundal is playing, he stops by, and Rico Dix, another good player who.
Yeah, I know Rico.
Yeah, he plays in the club as well. Yeah, you wouldn't want to just saunter into that room by mistake, would you?
No. Super talent. That's what's going to grow the sport, though. When you have that much talent around, then people can be inspired and see what needs to take place and see pool played at this level. That's quite an education. You know, it's not something you just practice up for. This really has to be your lifestyle in order to play at this level. Wouldn't you agree, Jim?
I think you have to be dedicated. You got to have that desire level, and it doesn't hurt to have a little bit of talent in that back arm as well. I find that most of the real good pool players are very adept at a number of sports that involve a stick and a ball. So It's there, ingrained. And Imran Majid finally got there. He wins his first rack, 5-1 still to Wang. But if nothing else, the magician gets to break here in rack number 7.
I might add that he really earned that rack, too, with some good decisions and supported with good execution. He made a couple of safeties and a couple of good decisions in there that kind of got him into a position where he did get a reasonable layout.
Imran has actually a couple nicknames. The Maharaja is another one. And I say that because there's another magician in the UK who's a pretty handy 9-ball player, Chris Melling. So a shout out to Chris. He's elected to have another go at professional snooker. What a great snooker player he is, too. We wish him all the best. We miss him on the 9-ball tour, though.
Yeah, there's a lot of talent out there. I don't blame him, though. The snooker circuit would really be interesting to pursue.
Well, we'll see if Imran learned anything watching Wang Can break with a very high degree of success. You'd like a carbon copy of that.
2-ball has to be on the very back of the rack, so you really can't play position. Good job finding the 1-ball in the side pocket.
Oh, and this looks pretty useful. Nicely on the 2, the 3 right there. I'm going to like to see about 3 or 4 more racks just like this one. You know, for me, Mark, this is where you have to be so mentally tough to be able to, sit in your chair and just take all these body blows that your opponent dishes out. And when your time comes, it's like it never happened because you got to live in the moment. And
yeah, with lesser players, the match would be over as far as their capacity to give 100% mental effort after that 5-rack flurry that Can put down to begin with. And but we're seeing complete tenacity here. Has not even blinked. And he's actually ahead on the Accu-Stats. I mean, he's really played excellent pool. Be very proud of him. He gets out here. Looks like he's just going to draw back one cushion, or is it top spin? Top spin down to the end rail. Top spin, don't hit the point.
yeah, there's always a number of ways that a player can attack position. Just personal preference.
That being said, though, he knew that this way was a little bit better, fractionally, percentage-wise.
Yeah, the ends justify the means, though, Mark, don't they? However you get there, doesn't matter. It's all about execution. The good players understand the percentages and get them working in their favor. And the good players also keep it simple.
He chopped through a good tough rack here. Not super tough, but given the circumstances, a great job there. Majid collects his second win. A break and run out there.
Yeah, that's the fifth break and run out we've seen in 7 racks. That's going to change the percentages somewhat, because I think up to this stage it was below 20%, the break and run outs. I'm going to say around 17% I think it was when I was looking at it.
Yeah, the way that they're breaking with the rules here, it's definitely lowered that percentage considerably from what we're used to seeing. These guys are so talented, though, it doesn't take them long to adapt, whatever the game is.
There's a fellow that notes a lot of these percentages in the forums. Over the last couple of years, I've popped in just to look at some of his statistics. I don't know who the gentleman is, but his username is @large. If I ever run into this fellow, I owe him a drink, because he's you talk about a guy who's a fan of the sport. Some of the numbers that he keeps and tracks, from break percentages to balls being made on the break, you name it. Very insightful.
Cut break by Majid. Dry break. That's unfortunate, but that's the way it is. Wang comes back to the table. Pretty tough get into the side pocket, isn't it?
Yeah, it might be worth a go, though, if the 2 is available to the side, the opposite side. A very acute angle into the side pocket, where this has to be struck perfect. Wow.
Snooker precision there on display.
Well, actually, Mark, on a snooker table would have been easier, because the side pockets are rounded. Here they're not.
Kept his body real still, finished his stroke nicely.
Now another good effort, but he needs a little angle. He's got to get from this 3 all the way the opposite end of the table for the 4. Well, he'd be quite happy if he can get the cue ball anywhere near where he's showing you now, and he's going to have to force this with a lot of right. Well, he's got a bit of angle in seeing that camera shot, so he should be able to get to the side of the table he was showing us.
Hit that pocket so pure, too. At that velocity, if you just hit it in there a little bit ragged, it will not work.
2 choices here. Come back up the left-hand side of the table, again, where he's showing you to play the 5 to the top right corner, or he's got the combination on offer. It just depends what the angle presents itself and how he fancies going at that 5. He's overhit this. Or underhit it. I'm going to say overhit it, just because it looked like he was just trying to come down off one cushion, but that's a mistake from Wang. One of the very few we've seen from his cue.
Yeah, he almost made a mistake earlier, and then he was able to spin it in. But we know he overhit it, because he wouldn't want to risk scratching in the corner pocket there. I mean, he might be able to try to back cut this ball in. Or else safety, he might be playing safe. One cushion to the end. No, he was trying for it. Hey, how about this? Majid showing some resilience there, and probably a bit of confidence after his break and run out. And now he's presented with a good opportunity to get another game back. He's got to be feeling good about his circumstance.
I know one thing. He was sitting in his chair 5-0 down. Now he's a good chance to be breaking just 2 racks adrift. So the complexion of this match has changed significantly.
Yeah, you start to feel like there might be a little bit of magic to it, and you think, well, the guy hit me with a 5 right out of the gate, but and then I battled back and beat him. You start to feel like it's supposed to happen.
cues so nicely. You watch that cue after it goes through the white, and it goes right on through its intended path. His fundamentals very sound, and that usually stands up under pressure. And Imran Majid, 5-3, still batting 1,000 over there.
What a standard here. Every year the standards get higher. This is frightening. This would be the skill set that might sometimes be on display in the very final match of a big tournament. Sometimes. Now we're seeing it routinely throughout the event. This truly is a world-class pool. It just doesn't get any better.
How nice is it to see Efren and Boosty here still playing at that level too.
And Jose.
Jose, of course, Jose. Jose and Mika going to be inducted into the BCA Hall of Fame later this week, and two very worthy inductees there. But, I mean, for the old guard, you know, Efren, 60 years of age and still a warrior.
I think, yeah. Oh, and they still play great. You know, it's a great show when they play.
Rack number 9.
Cut break.
Well, this is a little bit more of what we've seen in the first 3 days, where that break on this main table has really been a puzzle that needed to be solved. I mean, the way that Wang went through the first 5 racks, it really defied everything we'd seen to this point. Now everything seems to be coming back into line.
Well, he seems to want to take this combination on.
Yeah, for no other reason, Mark, than the safety's probably not much more easy. So if you're going to go down, you might as well go down with guns firing. And he's just called for his extension again, buy himself a little bit more time. Take another look at this. A big shot very early in this rack.
Well, he's earned himself an opportunity to play safe if he doesn't want to try to thin at the 1 ball. So that's still a very productive shot, but it didn't lead to a direct win, most likely. So he's going to bank the 1 ball down table and use the 6 ball as a blocker. Good speed. I don't know. Not maybe ideal, but not bad. You're playing somebody that when you leave them this, they run out. Go ahead and shake their hand. They're a tremendous player.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is awkward. Majid takes a moment to collect himself before shooting this.
It looks like he might have to just elevate and go over the edge of the 6, or does he look like he's spinning it?
Might be spinning this one.
He did spin it a bit. What a shot from Imran there. Wow.
Wow. That deserves a round of applause, folks. I mean, if that doesn't get it, I'll do it myself.
Well, if he follows the sort of form he's shown us, he won't be attacking here. He's just going to be defending and looking for cover. He hasn't done anything with any where he's fallen out of character, has he?
No.
Well,
I don't blame him, no. He's earned his way in here, you know, so. Oh, no, we don't take away 1,000 for that. This guy can play on my team anytime, and I will call that 1,000 at this point. That's unreasonable. Misposition.
Yeah, we're gonna have a little chat with Pat Fleming after that one. I think that's a bit harsh.
John Schmidt called him the Joseph Stalin of grading on Accu-Stats. I happen to agree.
See, Pat was a very good player, so he understands how the bar can be raised.
Well, the good thing is he applies it unilaterally, so all the figures are the same. So I don't dispute that. That's good. But, boy, this guy has played flawless. I have no problem. I'd be just delighted with myself, and I always give myself 1,000 at this point if I was ever able to do this.
Well, Mark, did that shot from Wang just hint of desperation there? Because it looked like he fired at the 9.
I don't think he really did, though. I think he was trying to play safe as we were chatting.
Well, he did a poor job of that, too.
Okay, but it was a long ways, and could he ever falter a little bit? He really hasn't made much of an error. You break and run 5 racks, it also depletes some mental focus and energy out of you.
No, it's a miss.
Yeah, and that was kind of the shot to nothing, too. I guess if he hit it a little heavier, he probably would have been able to hit the 3. But anyway, okay. Majid no longer has a perfect game going on Mark Wilson's scorecard, and Pat Fleming's scorecard, he has 2 errors. Now, Can leads the match 5-3, but surprisingly, the momentum has shifted the other way, and he really needs to collect the game here. Otherwise, he's at risk of really giving up some momentum. You wouldn't think there's almost a desperation, yet you're leading 5-3.
Three goes into the top left corner. That's his target.
Deal with the side pocket over there, too, so you got to hit this precise. Wow. All right. Good shot there.
Well, on Mark Wilson's scorecard, the one mistake from Imran Majid is going to be a costly one.
And for that last great shot that Can played, I erase a previous mistake on his scorecard.
Oh, so it's what have you done for me lately?
When you make a really good one, I let you get away with something earlier. Starting up a new company, too, non-Accu-Stats. That's what I call mine. General stats, positive stats. Looking good, though. It has to be a shot maker. This is a shot that he's capable of making, but when you leave it for yourself, it's a lot more difficult than if your opponent misses the 8 and leaves you this. Just a psychological thing. Yeah. I would even be inclined to go powder up and use my extension here just to kind of get myself settled. Okay. Well, we have to commend him. Good mental toughness, but this is not easy either.
Cushion first?
Yeah, I think we're going to see rail first. It lays good for that. No, ball first, no problem.
You got there in the end. 6-3. The race to 11.
It's a big difference, and that was a much-needed win for the Can camp because he was starting to let the match slip away after starting off so well, and you feel some pressure from that.
Well, and you also knew that Imran was starting to feel it a bit, starting to get a little bit more comfortable at the table, and I think it's significant the way that Can won that rack on Majid's miss. Too, I think that also is, talk about a psychological body blow. Because Imran did have the first look at that rack. He extracted the mistake and just didn't capitalize. Ooh, almost made the 9 in the side. That was close, but came up dry.
Yeah, I think we're going to be seeing another defensive exchange here. This guy's got some super firepower. He can pocket balls from all over. He's got that snooker background. We saw him take on a shot like this earlier. Execute it perfectly. You're almost betting the game on it, though, because you're certainly giving up control of the table, most likely.
And he's pushing. Just pushing into an area where he feels the safety a little bit easier. Because I don't think he wanted to, as you noted, didn't want to take the game on just that one shot. And he can just overcut this. Cut it to the right-hand rail and run for cover with the cue ball. Should be able to get back down the right-hand side of the table. He's bringing Majid back. I still think that's the shot, overcutting the one.
Yeah, this is the same way it played out earlier, too, where Majid pushed out. Looked like something that you would accept, but Can didn't.
Now, this looked like an obvious shot. I'm a little surprised that Can didn't take this shot.
And not just this time, but the previous time. We're so used to the incoming player accepting the shot. Unless it's the most awkward of kicks.
Well, the one thing we know for certain, Mark, is he likes this particular shot a lot less than the last one.
Oh, this is going to be tough. Tough to hit and tough to do anything if you do hit it. That's all I could do. Look at that hit. Oh, man. Even if he leaves the shot, that was just a nice shot to get the cue ball back down to the other end of the table. Yeah, he's got him blocked.
Yeah, Imran kind of popped up there. He had to feel like he was going to buy himself a chance.
This is tricky here. It's not easy to go two cushions at it. One cushion behind it. You're sort of at the mercy of the pool gods. Good speed, stuck the cue ball. Good job. Very good. Here you have to shoot a tough shot that has very little hope of good position. A lot of times these guys go defensive in this circumstance. Boy, what a great shot. What a great shot. Even Majid taps the table acknowledging what a great shot that was.
That would be the definition of defense right there.
Wow.
And this is a tough escape. Very tough escape.
You must seriously think about tying up some more balls here and taking an intentional foul. You don't want to open up the 1 and the 5.
Yeah, I don't even think he's going to try and hit this. Because it can't get any darker than this, no matter what. There's just no value. I mean, he can't get it off one cushion unless he jacks up and tries to spin, goes between the 9 and the 3. And I mean, he just can't do anything positive.
I would kick across the table and try to put the 9 along the rail by the 8. He's going 3 cushions to the 1, soft. Yep. Not a bad attempt. You know, you could come in there and just chip the 1 that way. But
he's looking at the bank. Goes by the 6. If he gets it, he knows he's going to be on the 2. He'll probably straighten it out, play a little bit of left-hand spin on the cue ball here, Mark.
Interesting. An off-angle bank. He's going to play the object ball, the 4 ball, I think it is, to hold the cue ball there. No, the 5 ball. Good shot. You go a long time before you see someone use ball in hand for a bank shot. Just so you know. It's really the case. I generally default towards the second safety prior to playing the bank, but this bank, I guess, was good enough position. He felt confident. 6-3 is our score. Very well played match. Oh, little error. Little error.
Well, he's still got a chance at this into the side. He's going to have to kill the cue ball, though. Try and hold it down for the 4, the bottom end of the table, but, you know, he doesn't want to give up the table here. Tough shot. Thin cut into the side pocket. Wow.
Good shot. Good recovery.
Yeah, that's how you spell relief right there.
Kind of interesting, too. He shot that into the side with an elevated cue. And that was to get a little bounce on the cue ball, I guess, but I'm not sure what effect he was striving for. It worked out perfectly.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. Looks pretty good from where we're sat.
He definitely had his cue a little bit more elevated than he generally does, and thought it was interesting. Close range. Moving through the remainder of the rack here pretty fluidly. When he's in this good rhythm like this, you just feel like he's never going to miss, you know. Now he has made a couple little small errors.
Times the cue ball very nice, too. Just delivering the cue and very short, very concise action he's got, but he sure makes it work. And he's in control of this match. 7-3 now over Imran Majid. It's a race to 11, remember?
Sorry, Jim. He has a very compact swing, and so that contributes to consistency because there's not many moving parts that can go wrong. I don't know if he just has that or if he's trained himself for that.
Type of stroke that holds up under heat, too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you like to see that sort of action in a player that you're working with. As you said, almost like a compact golf swing, Mark, isn't it? Very few moving parts.
Yeah, simple and repeating. That's the order of the day when you want to play consistent pool.
Now, there's got to be a market for that little implement. Well, this will be interesting.
Yeah.
Got to be very careful here where he pushes to, where the 2 is landed.
Yeah, I'm not sure where you push. So we're about to learn something. Opposite-handed push out at that. For me, I'm going to cut at the 1 ball and let the cue ball go forward down by the 2.
Two-way shot?
Yep. Yeah, and if I make them both.
Yeah, the only danger is if you catch the 2 flush, the cue ball will follow the 2 into the corner pocket. If you hit it too good.
That's what pool players say. I hit it too good when they scratch. I'm not sure that's true, but anyway, that is what we say.
I think he's going to be pretty happy with this effort.
Yep. Oh, boy.
Boy, there's been some great safety play. Wow.
Yeah, 1 inch further and he's in trouble. That's a good shot.
Yeah, you better get the protractor out on this one. Sir, this is going to take some figuring to escape here and get it safe.
Two cushions. Oh, 1 cushion with pace. Very well designed shot. Gave himself the best chance to have something good to happen. Good shot. Now maybe he can do something. Bridge. You'll have to get the bridge out. A little inside in English.
Yeah, good with the rake, though. Coming from a snooker background, Imran, so using the rake, or the rest as they call it in the UK.
Pool players are notoriously poor with the bridge.
Well, mind you, he's got the extension. He's just pushed into the back of his playing cue so he can reach this. Yeah, it's about 2.5 foot bridge that he's using.
You got it.
That just equaled the same length as Earl Strickland's cue.
Yeah. Earl, he experiments with a lot of different things, weights and finger extensions and colored glasses. Have to credit him. He's playing fantastic. Fit as a fiddle. Very smooth cueing action displayed here.
Yeah, he's got the gap between the 9 and the 7. So he'll just try and... The natural angle is just going to let the cue ball drift towards the center of the table, but he doesn't want to overhit this.
Good shot. Spent quite a bit of time in the optimum position zone there. Well executed. It's just a light one cushion bounce out. You can get pretty straight in the side pocket. That'd be perfect.
Little different setup this year, too, with 9 tables all in one room, 4 on either side of the main TV table here in the Accu-Stats arena. Very player and fan friendly, I think it's fair to say.
I call it intimate. I remember this as being a slightly larger ballroom. It's been about a decade since I've been here last. We'd played over across the street in the convention center. That was such a grandiose setup. We had the ESPN in this very ballroom 1 or 2 years. I remember that. Good job there. Majid pulls back a game, trails in the match 7-4.
Very close, the Accu-Stats ratings. You can see just underneath each player's rack total. Somewhat belying the score. That was that 5 racks in a row that Wang can put on Imran. 4 break and runouts following the first rack, where Imran really was sitting in his chair batting 1,000. He hadn't come to the table.
Okay, he needs to be productive from the break. He's got to generate some offense here without having to wrestle with Can over the first shot. Cut break. Good job there. Here comes the 2. What's he got going on here? Is he going to get in the gap? I don't know. It's hard to tell. I don't see much of a gap there. He could possibly go after the 9 with a billiard shot, but I don't know that that's the right shot to play there. Man, that's a shame when you make a couple balls on, what do you get, 3 balls on the break and not much to shoot at. He is looking, see if it goes. Well, I think he's got half a pocket, Jim.
Yeah, if he does, he'll be firing at this. Rest assured. He's got the angle to get the cue ball back up table.
Now he's back to measuring the
billiard onto the 9. Risky, but he played it in a manner where defense was secondary, option B, and he got that aspect of it. Didn't really threaten the pocket with the 9 there, Mark, and wasn't a bad alternative.
No, he played the shot, and I think it was primarily to make sure he didn't let the 2 ball escape. Can's measuring up how he wants to play this. Looks like he's going to have to be defensive as well. Side pocket's kind of in the way of some of his decisions. Did he masse around it, bring the cue ball down below the 7? Masse around the 8 a little bit. No, he was able to thin it. I wouldn't be critical of that effort. That was a very, very difficult shot, but it does look like he's left a shot here now.
Difficult to tell how thin the cut is on this, too, whether he can miss the 7 in attacking from this position. If he could miss the 7 and get through that gap to take the cue ball up table, that would be his game plan, but I don't know whether he can do that, Mark. So he may just opt for discretion here, too.
Yeah, he did. That's a bit more defensive than I'm used to seeing the top players play because it's so hard to get openings in here, and you shouldn't take reckless chances. But you sure don't want to end up losing this game. Now it's possible that Wang can put him in a predicament where he's kicking for his life this next shot. In which case he might have wished that he'd shot at that previous ball. Yeah, that's what happens right there now. Going to have to kick a combination in, which is a possible shot, but also possible you won't even hit the 2 ball. He's got his jump cue out. It looks like he's jumping over 2 balls at odd lengths here. This could bounce off the table too if you got to go that far. Double kissed it. Boy, a solid impact. What a shot that really was. Most interesting.
Well, we've already seen him go with one bank here. He could run for cover if he elects to play safe, and he has.
Wang scratching his head like maybe the 2-6 lined up dead. I can't tell from here.
I think if nothing else, it's allowed where he can use the 6 as a stopper on the 2. The thin hit on that blue 2 will keep it behind the 5. I think that's what Wang Can saw when he left the table. Pretty easy reply from Majid.
Nice hit. And to will the ball over by the 8.
Well, this 2, obviously the key ball in this rack, and it's a rack that Imran Majid really needs. He doesn't want to fall 4 racks behind Wang Can again.
Yeah, not in the latter stages of the match for sure. This is the part that I marvel at. This type of a shot right here, well, it's not going to work out ideally, but just the effort and the quality of the effort that they put forth on those balls.
You know, battles like this when, you know, it's all about that one ball.
Good shot.
Well, he's lost the cue ball. Focused so much on the 2. He's still got a cutback here on the 5, but that was a very good shot from Majid. I was about to say, Mark, that these battles where players are volleying for that one opening on that ball, sometimes you win these psychological battles, and they help to deciding who's going to win the war.
I couldn't agree with you more. I think you really put that succinctly. I think to come to these matches, you can't come here and try to win the match, but I think you have to win the lag. I think you have to win the banking battle, the breaking battle, the no scratches on the break, all those little things that adds up to winning the match. But there's independent of that. If you just look at the big picture, I got to win the match, then the score is overwhelming as the priority, and you forget to execute.
Yeah, very good performance. You really have to give it to Imran Majid. 5-0. There weren't many people around the venue here or at home watching that gave him much of a chance, but he's just hung in.
Yeah, he's fought and clawed, and that's pure tenacity on his part and preparation, mental preparation to withstand that. You cannot come here and hope that that's not going to happen to you. It's inevitable, so you have to plan and prepare for your response. And he clearly has thought about this to be able to stay focused. And really, as well as Can has played, to me, Majid's far more impressive because he did it under a far more amount of duress.
Mark, did you, when you used to compete, did you derive more pleasure in winning a match that you knew you weren't there and you had to fight your way through it and struggle, and as opposed to just going out and everything worked? You just you hit the switch and everything was there? Which sort of match gave you more pleasure?
Always when everything was there, but it rarely happened. So I didn't have. I won all my matches. Usually I did my best work in the losers bracket, and then I was often there. So the rare occasion that everything worked, I was delighted. But you know what? A match like this, if I was Majid, I would be so pleased with myself and feeling so good about this as an opportunity to steal a match against a guy that has played almost flawless pool, that would really empower my confidence.
Imran knows he's left Wang Can an opportunity. I agree with you, though. I think Imran, of the two, has to be feeling better. Well, up to this point in the match, anyway.
Yeah, I don't know that he's feeling better, but he's feeling better. Okay, yeah, I'm saying versus himself, right? Yeah, Can has to be very pleased with his performance too. But when you look on the TPA, it tells the whole tale right there. Look how good Majid's. I mean, both these figures are in the 900s, Jim. On tough equipment with tough opponents where you don't get great starts. I mean, it's just great.
He knows he can't get close to the two, so he's just going to leave himself a long, open look at the two with the angle. Now, this is far from straightforward, and it's not the easiest shot on the two.
A lot of clutter in front of him. I think you have to, if you're going to take on the two, you have to completely dismiss all the other balls from your mind so that they don't distract you even fractionally from just ball pocketing. Straight top spin. Greatly executed there. Yeah, that's world-class pool there, my friend.
Slightly hampered queuing over the 8. Thankfully for Wang, though, he doesn't have to do much with the cue ball because the 4 is just below the 3. Well, he threw his shoulder into that, Mark. That's one of the few fundamental errors we've seen from Wang Can. And a little bit of pressure, and again, the awkward cueing contributing to him dropping his shoulder and just throwing the cue at that cue ball.
That was really the first gross error in the entire match. Anytime they miss by that amount, you know it's not an aiming error of any kind. It's a pure execution error. Something broke down mechanically.
And Imran Majid wants to help him remember that miss.
Yeah, poor Majid. He really has to come to the table a lot of times facing a safety circumstance. Yeah, I thought that was a little long. So, once again, Majid has earned a good opportunity here with some stellar safety play. Concentrating heavily on this first shot because he really needs to pick up the right shot on the 4-ball here. I like the way he's accomplished that. Very good opening shot. Might have partially miscued there. I thought he was going to come back a little further than he did. Yeah, he's gone to the tip tool, which be an indicator he feels like he might have not got as much out of that shot as he wanted. Right back in line.
All that experience that Majid possesses, playing on the European Tour. He's made his way over to the U.S. Open on a number of occasions. He's played this game at the highest level. That's what's really come to the fore for me in this match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can clearly see it. You have to be a trained professional to hang in here with Wang Khan on this type of a match. Not something where you've practiced up a little bit and tried to get good or anything.
He's won the last 3 racks in a row, and now only 1 behind Wang Khan. And he'll break in rack number 14. Well, welcome back. We had a little player timeout. Imran Majid just securing his 3rd rack in succession and pulling back to 7-6 now. And all of a sudden, dare I say it, he may well have assumed the favorite's role in this match, given that he's breaking in rack number 14. But he really has stuck to his guns, played some terrific safeties. For me, that's been the storyline in this match. Is Imran Majid, he was 5-0 down at the outset, just sat in his chair, maintained a very positive body language, and relied on that edge and experience that he possesses over his younger opponent. But Mark Wilson, I know you love seeing matches like this too, where the players just duke it out and it isn't all about just throwing caution to the wind.
Yeah, no, it's the mental side of this thing that I enjoy so much because of the challenge to play somebody like this and then stand up to a heavy barrage and still be able to battle back.
Well, a chance. It's going to be a very difficult shot on the 1, but Imran's going to have to take this on in the corner pocket. Looks like the cue ball is going to fall straight into the 5, and that'll leave the 2 at his mercy. But the big shot comes right here on this 1. And he knows it.
Yeah, first shot of anything, there's a lot of pressure with it to kind of reclaim the table.
This is a rack winner or quite possibly a rack loser right here.
I would use my extension if I was him.
He's not even going for it.
I don't blame him. You don't want to give a cheap win away. He's really outplayed the opponent.
And you know something? This is the way he's played this match. He really has limited the risks, and you've got to take your hat off to Imran Majid. He is not changing anything about his game. Why give Wang Khan a chance at all? And he's got Wang Khan in trouble.
Yeah, I think there's more pressure on Wang than there is on Imran. Try to have to slip past the 2.
Not easy to get this one safe either. Even if he can hit it past the 2 from the near point.
Yeah, I call it a naked kick. You're just exposed to the whims of the pool gods at that point. I think he might almost have to masse towards that side pocket to create a different angle. No, he was able to tag it full. Good shot. Even though he's left a shot, that was all he could do.
Well, Imran Majid will definitely be going at this one. And this one considerably easier. But he does have to work the cue ball a little bit to drop onto the 2.
Well, we get a good look there. How his elbow's right up over the top of the back of the cue. Very straight.
You look for that, don't you? That alignment. He's changed.
Man, what a nice shot that was.
He's got a very open stance now, even though he's played snooker, and snooker players a lot more squared to the ball.
Yeah, much more of a pool stance for him. Do you know anything about his snooker game, Jim? Not really, just that he played.
Well, I just know that he opted for pool. I think it was a good decision.
Bumped the 4, picked up a shot on the 3.
Yeah, professional snooker right now is so hard. So many good young players. Financially more lucrative, but it's like the professional golf tour. You really do have to be a standout to even get on the tour.
I mean, my take on Alex being able to skip back and forth between pool and pro snooker, to me, it's just amazing. I don't know anyone else that's that versatile. It's dramatically different skills.
You know, and a lot of people think that Alex has forsaken pool. He hasn't. He just wanted the challenge. He accepted the challenge that snooker presented. He won a couple national championships in Canada playing snooker, and he just wanted to see how that game would compete against the best in the world. That's Alex.
It's very difficult for him to do, but that you've never seen another pool player make that adjustment as well as Alex has so far. And how about this, Jim? What's the score going to be? Oh, yeah, 7-7. Wow. Yeah, there's not going to be any loser here now. I think it's just one of those things where they finally run out of time.
The only thing we can tell you with absolute certainty is it's a long way home for either one of these two. Errors have been at a premium from Imran Majid's cue. Only 3 in 14 racks. And in contrast, look at Wang Can. And you know, even though the score is 7-7, I think looking at this right now, that score flatters Wang Can.
Yeah, for sure.
9-ball racked on the head spot. So players have been looking for that one into the side pocket. Pulling the cue ball over to the side cushion.
Look at 714 TP, or no, break performance average. Does that number ring a bell for you, Jim? 714? Babe Ruth home run total of all time.
Yeah, of course. And I should know that too. I'm a big baseball fan, as I know you are. When you caught me up yesterday, I knew that they had altered the diamond. The pitching mound. I thought they had raised it, and in fact, they did lower it. I knew they had done something, Mark. I should have been a little more general. You caught me, but I'm not going to get into any discussions with you about baseball. I know what an astute follower of that sport you are.
Oh, I just love that too. I don't know that I'm astute, but I do love it.
We'll put it this way: you're as astute in baseball, even with statistics and the tradition of the sport, as anybody I know. Now, that's another good break from Imran here, and he's got a chance. He's never been in front in this match. Nicely controlled, spinning that cue ball. He's got a perfect angle on the 2. He's got this one by the throat. Just got to draw above the 3 and take that side pocket out of the equation.
Nice shot there. Right in the heart of his position zone. You have to hit that pocket clean all the time to be able to manage your ball speeds in a precise direction. We talk about missing inside the pocket. These guys are so good. If they don't hit a particular part of the pocket, disrupts the direction and speed of the cue ball.
Tony Drago calls Imran Jimmy. Mm-hmm. The reason being James Brown. But they're very, very good friends off the table. Practice together a lot. Look out.
Good shot.
Yeah, nicely played.
Now, how straight did he get? He got straight enough that he has to consider taking a long shot on the 9. Just draw back. You never mind when it hits the point on the way back because that kicks it away from the cushion. Makes it play just a little easier.
This is a bit tricky for me, though. Oh, what a
Good
nice
job.
shot. Imran Majid has raised his game. 8-7 for the first time in the match. He sees the front.
With a nice break and run out there, too, I might add. Very nice.
He's replied in kind to what Wang did. The very start of this match, 5-0 Majid trailed. Well, he's just put a 5 spot right back up on the string. 5 in a row. And Tony Drago would be proud of his buddy the way he's performing out there.
Oh, I think anybody that loves pool would be proud of him. We're so used to seeing people just give up or something and just go through the motions and hope that luck prevails that allows them to get back in the match. He's fought and clawed. He was 5-0 and he went through a long safety battle to get his first shot. Do you remember that?
I'm also very impressed by some of the shots he's refused. Mm-hmm. And where he could have just, thrown caution to the wind a little bit and gone after a low percentage shot that may have afforded the winning line. Well, he hasn't broken his pace. He's stayed very consistent with his play. Played some great safeties. And if nothing else, he's thrown a wrench into Wang Can's spokes on his bike. He's really taken his opponent out of sync. Wow, that's a showstopper, though, Imran. That is the last thing you wanted to do. Bring Wang out of his chair with ball in hand and an open table, and he knows it.
And that's what happens with the cut break. It's happened quite a bit this week where it's one cushion towards the side pocket. It's an interesting thing. I really don't think this is the style of pool that 9-ball is meant to be played with because it takes away some of that fast break offense, despite the fact that these guys have been overpowering the table a little bit and making it look like it's still the regular 9-ball game.
I'd be very interested to see how he goes at the 5. The 5 is open. Depending where he drops on the 4, he's looking at it now where he needs to be. He's thinking 4 shots ahead from the 2 to the 3 and position from the 4 to the 5. But if he drops awkwardly on that 4, there is a possibility. Well, that's not his best positional effort. Possibility of a 5-9 combination.
A shot like that where you bump into your object ball does not bolster your confidence. He played the first 5 racks flawlessly, and then since then, he really hasn't played his A game. Looks like it might be frozen to the cushion, which would make it play just a little bit easier. I enjoyed that shot.
Well, he's not going to be able to get to where he wanted to now. Maybe just slow rolling this in, leaving the cut on the 5. And he's looking at the other side for the 5-9. I don't like that either, Mark, because he's not going to be able to get into ideal territory for either option. Just leaving the cut on the 5, it looks like.
Fairly vertical cue. Was able to stop the cue ball. Now he can cut the 5. Now he knows he's going to run into some of these balls, the 6, possibly, or almost for sure the 9.
Do you try and draw into the 9 here?
I don't. I just go all out for ball pocketing, but that's probably the wrong way to do. So we'll see. He's drawing. Oh, well played. Very well played. Particularly given the arrangement of the balls and how disruptive that is in your line of vision when you're trying to shoot. The unknown part of this splits your mind often. You think about position and the shot at the same time, and then the next thing you know, the ball's hanging in the pocket rather than down. Yeah, good recovery. He's showing some fight.
Yeah, this has been a classy match. Very high standard.
Ball's perfect.
Well, it was an awkward-looking table when Wang Can had ball in hand, but he went through the colors, and all of a sudden, it's a race to 3. 8-8. And Wang Can with the break in rack number 17.
Look at that line score. Went 5-3, 2-5.
And counting. Well, between the two, he has easily been more successful in the breaking department. I'd like to be able to put a couple more together right here.
Yeah, both players have put on a tremendous performance. You gonna cut break? That was kind of the power cut break. Oh, here we go. A shot for.
Yeah,
Well, maybe.
He slaughtered that break and came up empty-handed. I mean, almost everything was at the far end of the table, Mark. You can't hit a break much better than that.
Interesting layout here is the majority of the rack is all down on the end rail. And he's going to have to cut the 1 in, get down on the 2, and then draw back, it looks like. Work the cue ball much closer to the 2 ball. Now this is going to be tricky.
Now, is he going to try and be precise with this, or is he going to leave himself just... He can knock this in and get back to the middle of the table, leave the cut shot on the 3, which I think should be the way to go. Just give yourself a chance.
I agree, because you can play a stop shot safety. If you don't like the cut, if you don't feel like you can handle the cue ball well, you have a real reasonable opportunity to play a good safety. Rather, you don't have to sentence yourself. No, he tried to go all the way.
Yeah, this was the risky way. It would certainly have come with greater rewards, but he needed to get that cue ball, as you can see, right near that cushion. And, well, always easy to say, hindsight's always 20/20, but...
Let me just say this. That was really the first decision error of the match for Imran, because it was just too risky. Even if he gets out from here, that was not the right shot. And tried to half spin around. Played it nicely. Hey.
Well, he's back.
Yep.
One good shot. And this is a pressure ball. That's why he's taking a little extra time. He's got to stay very still on this. This is all about cue delivery, because he's just going to have to try and roll this in. Oh, great shot. Great shot under the circumstances.
Yep, his good technique. Really served him well there. That's one of those that you cannot shoot that with any trepidation. You have to be willing to make that shot. Be committed to it. You can't be ambiguous and say, oh, I hope it goes in. You got to stand there and make it go in. Willing it to bounce from the cushion. Allow his tip to get down on the ball a little bit better. He's got through a pretty tough rack here, but he'd certainly like to finish it up. You cannot have a little mental letdown because these pockets are so unforgiving. And he doesn't give up anything. This is where your fitness level comes in because of how fatiguing mentally this can become to be this focused and concentrated throughout the match. People think pool isn't physical, but just try to put up a performance like this and see what it takes out of you.
Look out again. Imran flirting with that side pocket. No danger. Perfect on the 9 now. 9-8. For me, Imran Majid's best performance of the match. That was a very tricky run out and successfully negotiated.
He had to make a lot of shots there. This guy's got a big fan in me, I'll tell you that.
He's played on the Moscone Cup for the European side before, a testament to how strong of a game he possesses. He's won on the European Tour. And he is in Chesapeake this week with one purpose and one purpose alone in mind. He wants to win this event and crack one of those spots that still remain for Team Europe on the Moscone Cup. And in fairness, where he sits in the rankings, he'd probably have to win the event.
If he can play like this, he can definitely win this event. He would deserve to win this event if he could go through the rest of the tournament at this pace. Ramped up the power a little bit. Got a ball to fall. 2 balls to fall.
He's not in the top 10 in the European rankings. That's why I say he would have to win the U.S. Open to have any chance for consideration on the European Moscone Cup side.
The combination's a bit much to take on here, isn't it?
Yeah, and it wouldn't be going in line with the way that he's played to this point. He's been very measured in his approach, and he's limited the risks. As you noted, Mark, we saw one in the last rack.
Yeah. This is an interesting little shot, and depending upon how close the one ball is to the side rail, you can go rail first with all left-hand spin, super soft, and land just heavy, and the cue ball will crawl up on the 2 and just bump the 1 out just in front of the side pocket. If you're not well-versed at playing it, okay, well, that's a catastrophe. If you're not well-versed at playing the shot that I was describing, or if it's not just laying properly, you can't do it. But if you've ever practiced it a little bit, you'd be amazed at how that just crawls up the rail. It has to be all spin and no speed to do it, though. Which is a very interesting shot. Efren showed it to me one time. Wow. Yeah. We're informed that Majid is a car driving instructor as a full-time job, and pool is part-time thing, but
I can tell you that's pretty recent. That has to be something that Imran has taken on just in the last couple of years.
Probably something where there's a guy, another instructor that likes to play pool for money or something.
He just drives straight to the pool room.
Yeah. Apparently so. I'll tell you the way this match is going. I think if Wang wants to win this match, he's going to have to just break and run out from here. Majid has not given him much to work with. Really only one major blunder, and that would be that last shot that he just made. Yeah, he worked the cue ball nice and close to the 8. Pretty shot. Very routine 9-ball, but you cannot mentally let up on this one either. Super snug pockets here. Good job there. It's the heart of the pocket.
Well, hand in hand, they're heading to the finish line in this one. Never looked like it was going to be a one-sided affair, even when Wang went 5-0 ahead. Never missed a ball. Looked like he's had an early table booked for lunch here in the hotel. But I think on paper, looked like it was going to be pretty close. I would have given Wang the edge, certainly from a betting perspective. You just wonder if there's another chapter to be written in this bookmark, because neither one of them have been breaking too successfully, but that glaring error in that last one from Imran Majid, he's got to put that one out of his mind.
Yeah, early in the match, with the 4 racks consecutive break and run out, that was good. And then after that, it's been very erratic on the break. I'm not criticizing at all, because that's what we've generally seen. Cue ball hopping forward. Whenever the cue ball's bounding like that, it sounds good, but you're not really getting the ball action because there's energy airborne that should have been horizontal. Is this a stop shot here, Jim?
Yeah, no prizes for guessing where Wang Can's going to be playing his next shot from.
Okay. I will take that as a affirmative. Yeah, this is kind of like a boa constrictor gets a hold of you when Majid gets on this safety thing. He just squeezes the life out of you. Look, he's never hardly given Wang Can an open opportunity, particularly with unforced error, with the exception of the last rack.
But everything's in the open again, so Wang Can needs to hit this one, and he needs that little element of luck in getting it safe.
Yeah, these guys play speeds that contribute to assisting luck, but you still need some good fortune, because a millimeter here or there makes all the difference in the world. Yeah.
Called for his extension. The 40-second shot clock. Each player allowed 1 extension per rack.
Looks like a velocity shot. He's going to pop this one. Nice hit. That's the speed he felt gave him the best chance to get separation, maybe have something good happen. Did not work out.
Well, no better time to erase the memory of that goof in the last rack than right now.
And, that's why it's so desperately important that when you go to sit in your chair after that last rack, you just start building the positive mental framework for this next opportunity, so you don't take that to the table with you. You should be over there thinking, I'm going to run out my next turn, I'm going to run out, rather than wishing or hoping for something bad to happen to your opponent. You're better off to expend that energy towards bolstering your own self-esteem and confidence and focus. You can only control what you do. You can't control what they do, so there's no sense expending energy that way. So he's top spinning to the side cushion. Yep. I mean, we always say this, but boy, this would be a big game to get, wouldn't it? I mean, I know, of course, you're one game closer to the end, but it's just the psychological aspect, one that you get your concentration and focus back from that last bad shot. Uh-oh. I shudder to think what would have happened had he caught that pure. He'd gone all the way back, and I guess he was going to the end rail 2 cushions. Yeah, this is interesting now. It was a routine layout.
Well, he had a lot of room for error there. I mean, he overdrew this one 2 feet anyway.
No, if he had caught it clean, I think it would have drawn quite a bit further. I mean, it was like he was playing it to come all the way back here. I certainly didn't expect that. Kind of overamped there at the last little bit, I think. Gorgeous shot. Had to turn the cue ball loose. Is he going to get away? It's hard to tell.
Well, his body language hasn't given us any indication yet, but it's close.
He's going to need to produce a real good shot here if he is able to see it. That's where I say, come on, snooker mechanics, do me right. Slow backswing, straight through. Body still. Yeah, wiggled his head just a little bit. I know that caused the miss, but it certainly doesn't help. Now this is a tough shot too, because you got to snatch it back past the side pocket.
Yeah, and everything under the magnifying glass now. We're at the business end of this match.
Good shot there.
Yeah, that's as good as any ball he's hit.
Always with matches like these, when I get the opportunity to call one of these, I love pool so much, I go out to the front and order the match right straight away. Because it's that good and I don't want to forget. I want this for my collection.
Action on table 3, the match is tied 10 games apiece, race to 11 on the one-loss side. Somebody's got to vote. Put up the hand, please, for Kevin West and Lee Kwong Tron.
Oh, he got straight. I don't think it's necessarily dead straight, but he is going to have a little more work than he was hoping for. He gave a little flip of the palms up. I'll add a little more drama to this, then stun it out to the middle. Yeah, just enough. He's fine.
Maybe a little poker move there, do you think?
Yeah, I think.
Riffling your chips?
Yeah.
Well, he arrives to the hill first. The miss on the 6 from Majid proving costly in that last one.
And even more so, really, the miscue. That's what was costly, because it forced him to back cut that, whatever it was, 6 ball, and bumped to 7. No, the 5 ball. And bumped to 7 and got him way long. Yeah, the miscue really hurt.
So many great matches still to come from the left-hand side of the draw in this one. Ralph Souquet and Alex Pagulayan. Looks like Niels Fayen is going to be locking horns with Mika Immonen as well. That's one you don't want to miss.
No, they're all great. I looked at them this morning. I was looking down. Boy,
There's a host of world champions, Mark, aren't there here?
yeah. But there's people that have won this tournament that went 2 and out, and they're in good form. That's how competitive it is.
And how about the one that's going to be coming your way, 8:30 Eastern time tonight? Efren Reyes against Dennis Orculio. That's one you might want to mark down. Have an early dinner and settle in. Torsten Homan, Francisco Bustamante, another one just prior to the Efren Dennis match at 6:30. That one will be gracing your screens. Just gets better and better.
Sure does. It's going to take a half hour to get my heart rate back down after this one.
There's a chance for Imran.
Yeah.
Can force a hill. One good shot on the one here. He's got it. And position to the two. This is every chance now for Imran Majid.
I mean, this is kind of obvious, but you notice how he bumped the two? He didn't want to add complexity to that opening shot, and so he just played for this. Just to make sure you get the one ball down, then we'll work with the next. Normally, you don't like to bump the very next ball that you're going to strike.
You just know that the eventual loser of this match is going to take away a few of the missed opportunities. For Wang Can, it's going to be his lack of success in the latter part of this match with the break. As good as he was in the early going, that little bit of success that he had has really deserted him his last few breaks.
Well, one thing's for sure, you cannot be critical of yourself, win or lose this match.
Yeah, both of them are over 900, so we've said it, and it's worth repeating that this has been a very high standard these guys have played at.
Yeah, if you perform like this, then just shake your man's hand if he beat you, because you made him do it. You didn't give it away. He had to play a supremely good match to beat you.
Big shot right here in this rack for Imran.
Don't get concerned about the other object balls. Make this ball. Good single-minded focus. Much like he did on the one and the two. You had to get his mind right for making the ball, not allowing the clutter to distract him. Imagine he'll follow down off the six, play the six in the corner. It's the heart of the pocket, nice angle. You can see a little extra bounce in his step there as he gets down to the seven. Like, okay, I got this now. I just got to concentrate. Very nice.
Well, Mark, we could have just come in for the last rack.
Nah, I wouldn't have wanted to miss this. I could leave for the last rack, though, because there's not going to be a winner or loser. Both players are going to be over 900 for the match.
2 hours they've been playing, and it all comes down to one rack.
It's, super tough conditions to play 900 under. You start out 5-0 behind and then put up a 900 figure. Where are we? 907 and what's?
929 for Imran Majid.
Those are your total performance averages. How many balls pocketed? 88 to 91. I'll tell you an interesting thing. You don't have to tell me anything else about the score. Just tell me who made the most total balls in the match, and he will win about 95%. It's a rare day when you make less balls and win the match. So it really goes to, it's a testimonial to how valuable the one ball is. Two ball. All those balls add up. You just get more 9 balls in the way at the end of the day. Even when the score is close in ball count, too, it works out that way. The majority of the time, it'll be the person with the greater number of balls.
And you'll notice as you see Majid here, he's taking a little extra time with the rack because to this point in the U.S. Open, this is the biggest rack he's going to hit. And he wants to make sure he gives himself a solid dispersal of these balls. Now, what he wouldn't give for a good break here.
Yep. Remarkably, some people, amateur players, they do not give the break the degree of precision aiming-wise while they're standing up that these pros do. Eye shift, look at him. See it? Much like Tiger Woods aligning on a tee shot. He many checks of the target. He did not scratch. That's part of the battle. Did not make a ball on the break. Oh, boy. Yeah, that's heartbreaking there. Possibly risk not getting another turn in this match.
Didn't look like he caught it as flush as he would have liked. He pulled the cue ball to the side, as they've all done, but he just didn't quite have the conviction with that break. I think he was so concerned with keeping the cue ball on the table, maybe even, Mark.
Yeah. Yeah, the ball action would speak to what Jim's saying. There have been times when we saw the most of the balls way down the far end rail after the break. But you hate to go down with a scratch on that last break, too, and that might have been a fleeting thought in the back of his mind, is at least protect the cue ball here. I'll tell you, for that reason, I might have not gone with the cut break on this last. I might have just tried to square it up and hit it, because if you're making balls only in the back pockets anyway, the cut break doesn't help. So if you're not making the one or the one in the side or the wing ball, look at this. Oh, we got play. We got action. I'm not pulling for either guy. I just love excitement here. Jim's legs is bouncing here at about 100 miles an hour clip in the booth, just so you know. So if you hear any rattling, I think he likes it too.
I've always been a fan of the sport. I mean, this is why we come to watch these events right here. Hill matches.
Look at this shot. Oh, okay, hopped it right in.
Well, that was one. He's got to come with one more good shot, but if he gets this three, he's going to pull the cue ball just below the side pocket. And Mark, you're going to have to fear the worst for Imran Majid if he gets this one.
At this stage, I'm always so nervous. I played the 3 and then put the cue ball on the 9, hoping by some miracle. It never works out, but I'm willing to take on a 4-8 or a bank or a safety if I don't get the 9. Much smarter play there.
What a shot.
That was a tremendous shot. I like this. Yep, towel off, collect yourself, slow down here.
Showing a lot of experience.
Yep.
Ice water running through his veins.
Played a very poor opening shot, then played a tremendous jump shot and followed it up with one of the best pressure shots of the whole match. Slow down, he says. Slow down, slow down, slow down. He wants the right angle. Appears he got just a little straighter than he wanted. Yep, just a hint of the wrong angle. Well, it's all right. Very manageable. It's just these balls seem tough here at the end of the rack. Just draw back a little bit. 2 cushions back to the center of the table would be great. Be delighted, ecstatic with that outcome. Good chance this will be the last pressure ball of the match. Nope, overdid it. Well, 7 ball will probably be the last pressure ball of this match. He's even laughing.
Yeah, outwardly.
Yeah. But it's good that he can. I mean, he knows. These guys live in this position.
Have a look at Imran Majid fixing his cue up. What do you think he's thinking?
Yeah, I don't think he's thinking about his next practice session at home, so. Yep, there we go. Missed it by a mile, too, Jim. That was pressure. We got action, ladies and gentlemen. What kind of a shot is this going to be? Does it go by there? Apparently it does.
It does, but I mean, this is tricky.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows the cue ball is going to be running away from the 8.
Yep, knows he's going to have to make a good, tough 8 ball afterward. That's the first order of business to get the 7 in. There is no defense here. You cannot play defense. You have to go. This is where you rely on your snooker mechanics. Huh. Well, he did play defense just to defy me. I'm going to lower his TPA now for that. That's embarrassing. I'll still take him on my team, though. The way this guy plays.
I think Wang Can's delighted to get back to the table.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's not his best effort. He was trying to get that cue ball behind the 9. He wanted that 7 up on the top cushion, in the middle of the top cushion, but just didn't quite hit that shot with any conviction. He's a little fortunate he's left Imran hampered cueing over the 9, and I think for that reason, Majid's going to have to try and defend again.
Defend again? No, I think he's got to go again. No, you were right. Okay.
That's a snooker safety.
I don't
Three
care.
cushion snooker
I don't
safety.
care.
Well,
It turned out fantastic.
You're not the one playing the shot, Mark. He
No.
cares. That's a great shot.
Absolutely. Is that shot easier than pocketing that ball?
Oh, yeah.
That shot is.
By miles.
To not leave a shot, you can lose with that shot. You can't
Mark,
win.
you got to play snooker to know that safety.
I
It's
know
a dead,
that
it's
safety
a dead
is-
on hit.
In snooker, okay. In snooker, it's much easier because it's a larger table with smaller pockets. What if you lose? What if this sells out that last inch or two?
Nice shot. Oh, it's bounced.
Oh, he's earned a shot.
Yeah, not that nice.
Okay.
Just overhit it. A little too much adrenaline in that back arm.
Well, I surely don't think we're going to play defense again, are we?
Oh, no. He's,
we're going. This is go
full,
time.
This is go time.
Okay. I like it. Head still now. He's moved his head a couple times. He did. Good job. Head was rock solid still there.
He needs that cue ball to run.
He wants a little angle. You got it too.
Again, staying still. Oh, what a performance from Majid. What a match. Shame there had to be a loser. But it's the Maharaja from the UK that's going to forge on in the 39th U.S. Open. Imran Majid, an 11-10 win over Wang.
I just like to say one thing. The boa constrictor caught the rabbit there at the end. I mean, what a match that was. And he strangled him with that defensive play. Absolutely amazing. And whether I agree or not, it was effective. He made the big shot when he had to.
And there'll be a lot more coming your way. Stay with us here on Accu-Stats.